Good morning, all. Today we're going to see some two more graphs which are left over from this point. Right, so we'll start with hex binning. This is the name of the this plot. Hexbin is a very popular package. This is used in case when we have many multiple points for the same place. That means uh, the points, if the points are being over plotted, right? So in that case, if same place multiple points are being there, we use hex binning. So I've already installed here. If you're not installed on machine, use this command install dot packages. Package name is hex bin, right? And load it into it, the memory library package name. So it is loaded now. Let's try some for new data. We'll now see some nutrition related data. So the library name is nanes, HNANES. Right. So this is having 15 different variables, and there's a survey regarding this on near about 9,000 different people. So I'll check that data. Data set is loaded. Let's see what contents it is having. See, this is how it looks like. I'll search the topic for it. You can have a detailed list of this. See here. It is so the data frame of 15 variables, that are there are 15 different columns in it, and 9,575 persons or rows, different rows, right? So these are nothing but your data set columns and rows. So it is having cancer incidence, cancer death, age related to smoke, right? And this is a factor level. That means it will be having different categories. Either it is current, past, non-smoker, or is not having any information. Now here we have some basic information about those persons in terms of rows, as a numeric vector in terms of zeros and ones gives the education level of that person, the race, weight, body mass index, his diet, and there are many of those, right? So you can have this. Uh, Also, we can go for the summary, right? So you can have this information over here. Now we'll be needing this, right? Same one more package. If not loaded, I'll load it again as R color river. Yeah, it's loaded again. Now we'll take those columns and try to draw a hex bin using some number of bins. So as an histogram, I can define here how many number of bins I need. Right? So I'll store that in a variable A. What column you want to? We'll go with cancer death. With respect to age, right? And how many bins? Probably 25 bins. right? So A is here, and we'll plot A. Okay, so you can see here, this is the output. How you can see on the right side, you can see the number of counts, right, appearing from a gradient from low to high color intensity, and this is what uh, x-axis and y-axis we have taken as cancer death with respect to age, right? So this will be your age bar, and this will be the people in thousands in cancer deaths, right? So this is how you can check with respect to x and y. You can change your number of bins also, right? So these are your bins, how much and how you want to make it appear. Suppose for cancer deaths, instead of you want to go for smoke, right? Whether, so this will be a factor, right? This won't be a numeric one. And suppose you're going for 5 bins, right? So this is how it will be looking like, right? Smoke versus cancer death, right? And you'll be having a count over here as depending on this color intensity. So as well, you can have for any of these. We have here hemoglobin, TIBC, common. Yeah, we have weight here. But we seeing cancer death with those people who are having, who are more obese. Hmm. So you can change this accordingly. So this is how hex bin is being represented. You can also go with another column such as hemoglobin. Uh, this is one more here factor for male and female, right? So you can try for numeric values as well as for categorical values also. You have here in this column one, and this column over here you have 4 different categories. So you have 4 factor levels, you can see here: current, past, non-smoker, and unknown, right? So making it as summary will describe you the entire structure of how the data set is, and depending on that data type you can choose how your graph can look like, right? Yesterday we have saw iris data set also, right? So it had 3 different categories. So those are factors, right? It is being divided into 3 different categories. Some may have numerical form, right? How many are dead and how many did survive, right? What were the cancer incidents, right? So these are the counts. So this will be numeric value, exact values depending on 2 different sides, either yes or no. And this will be a category, right? So in this term, you need to make a decision by looking at the graph, and here they will be giving you the exact value or the accuracy. Hmm? So it is totally based on you how you uh, decide and try to visualize your graph. Same again, you can use R palette here in Hexbin. To, you are having only this gradient, gray color or black color gradient in, so you can have different colors using this color package R Brewer color. It's the same syntax, brewer.pal, and you can use color ramp palette. So that will be giving you how many number of colors you want on the on your graph, right? Now see mosaic plot. This plot is basically used for categorical data. It is very much essential that we see how this mosaic plot is. It's very effectively with the area of data showing the relative proportions, right? Now, as in we are having here age, right? So it will be with respect to age of those persons who are dead due to cancer. So it will be a proportion and it will be covering up a area, right? So it will be showing as a plot chart where you will be having different areas covered with respect to x and y proportion. Hmm? So I'll make a column here. We'll take a new data set. This is the new data set. We'll see some details about it. So this is the distribution of hair and eye color and sex in 592 statistics students, right? So this is the data of 592 different statistics students. See how many entries are there? There are 32 rows and 4 columns, right? So this is the data. Now you can have a number of levels. So hair levels will be divided into 4 different colors, that is black, brown, red, and blonde. Eye will be brown, blue, hazel, and green. Right. So you can see here the data will be in categorical, but 592 students statistics they have collected in terms of this. These are the frequencies. So if I am searching for a student whose hair colors are black, eye color is brown, and he's a male, so I will be having 32 different students of such kind. You can see this data here. Okay, so we'll move on with this data. Now we'll try to plot this. Now this data set entirely gives you a thorough study about the relation between hair color and the eye color, right? The rest of the category is just for the count and for the categorization, either it is male or female. So the basic intention of collecting this data is to find a relationship between those persons who are having XYZ color and XYZ eye color, hair color and eye color. So the function used is mosaic plot. Here I color your dataset name, give a title. See, you can see the graph on the screen. You're having a ratio with terms of plot area. Now I can see here this entire structure on the root side is with respect to eye versus hair color, right? Now you can see here, if I want to see the person who is having brown eyes and black hair and who is male, and I want to compare at the same time with females, so I can see the proportion is same over here for eyes and a little bit more with hair, right? So this is the ratio how you can study here, right? A person who is having eye to hair ratio and with respect to male and female, right? We are having only 4 entries here, 4 columns here: eye color, hair color, male, female, right? And the frequency, right? Number of students who are having that category, right? So this will be represented in such a way, right? So if you are having count and uh, data type in terms of factors, then mosaic plot is the best one. Let's add some shades and legends what we are using here. I'll add some more parameters. See, it's the default one from mosaic plot. So you can see we have added a legend over here, and you can see it has different shades, dotted lines, no filled, only borders, right? You can see here light blue, dark blue, pink, red, right? So this is the default one provided by mosaic plot itself. So this is where this data bit where you use where the data is in terms of categorical data only, right? So if you have a look at this data set, uh, you're having only this as numeric form. Otherwise, every data here is in terms of category or in terms of factors, right? So we are having here 4 categories for these 2 columns and 2 category for this column, and this is the number of students or the frequency with respect to those 592 different students, right? So this 32 entries will give you the 592 students data with respect to these 3 columns. So in such way, you can go for mosaic plots. Now we'll move with another plot as heat map. This will be our last one. Okay, heat map lets you to do the exploratory data analysis with 2 dimensions as axis, and the third dimension shown by the intensity of the color, right? So the graph will be looking as 2 dimension, but you will be having data with respect to 3D, right? Depending on that intensity of color. Some heat maps are also interactive maps. You can change the color intensity, and accordingly you can see how your graph changes on. But here it will be in a static form. Okay, so initially we need to convert the data set into the matrix form, because this matrix will give you first 2D and will be applying the third variable as for the third dimension, right? So we'll be using empty cars because it has both factors as well as numeric data type in its data set. So we have used this before, data empty cars, and we know the rows and columns into it. Okay, if you're not aware of, you can use view empty cars, and these are the columns, these are the car models, and with respect to these car models we are having some functionalities or the features of those cars. That is miles per gallon, cylinders, number of cylinders, displacement, horsepower, drad, weight, right? V and S, I think A and M is automatic and manual gear, right? These are some of the features of this data set. Now let's move on to heat map and draw this. I'll take this data because we need to convert first into matrix and then pass this data variable to heat map, and will be providing some scaling to it. So my data which I want to display uh, of empty cars will be stored again into data, right? So heat map. So I'll be converting this data into matrix first because that is the requirement of heat map as dot matrix and my data set name. So it is empty cars. Now it is everything is related to data. So good. You can see here on the right side. See, this is the color intensity. You can see from here to here and move forwards by different kind of models, right? So these are your total number of entries into the data set. With respect to all these models, you can have all these features in a single graph. Hmm? So these were the features which we saw, and these are the rows or the different car models into your data set, right? So it gives you a thorough study within a glance of entire structure of how your data set is going to look. Okay, so this was all about the introductory part of how many different maps or charts or plots are there for visualizing data using R. Okay, so today we need to see one more point, but that's I think time will not persist now. Uh, there's one package name called as Lattice package. Lattice is a very powerful and elegant tool used for data visualization, which is being inspired by R. And scientist name is Trellis, which have designed this lattice library, and it is very powerful, which is used for very small plots, but for multiple dimensions. So you can have a graph something like a scatter plot with a matrix of different small plots, right? So if you're having a very small data, but you're having multiple points overlapping onto it, so you can separate those multiple points with a grid of, or with a matrix of several plots, right, with respect to x and y axis, but it will give a look at of some 3D plotting. Okay? So there are some functions used in it. Uh, what I'll do is we'll continue it in next lecture, or I'll upload it on YouTube, right? But for now, we'll stop here.